For this month's Holland Assets safety video, I want to talk a little bit about speeding. Speeding over the last 3 months or so, we've seen a little bit of an uptick in, and so it's something that I definitely want to address. It's something we've addressed a little bit in the past, but I want to hone in on it a little bit better today. Speeding causes lots of problems, as we all know, and it's something that I feel like we can do better at. The common areas where we're seeing speeding incidents happen the most are really two very common occurrences. And the first one is when you're going through a small town. You come up on a small town, you don't adjust your speed fast enough, they've got a speed trap set up, and you get nailed there. The best way to avoid that is to really anticipate. You see a town coming up, know you're gonna have to slow down, be paying attention, and start slowing down early. And the second one is when you're going down a big descent. Anytime you're going down a descent, if you're not paying attention, it's really easy for that speed to creep up on you. And before you know it, you're going faster than the speed limit. And again, the best way to avoid that in that situation is to anticipate. Know when you're starting a descent that you do a few things like gear down, obviously, and just make sure you're in the right gear for the steepness of the hill. One of the things that I like to do when I'm going down a steep grade, I think it's a really good rule of thumb, is to gear down one gear lower than it took you to climb that hill. So if you had to climb the hill in 6th gear, when you're descending the hill, make sure your engine's brake is set at full and gear down to 5th gear. And typically when you do that, you're going to be good. You're not going to have to use your brakes a whole lot. You're not going to overheat your brakes, and you're going to maintain a good, safe speed. Another really good thing to think about is, why is following the speed limit so important? And there's a lot of reasons why following the speed limit is most important. And the first and foremost is obviously safety. The likelihood of getting into an accident increases when your speed increases. And also, importantly, the faster you're going, the severity, as you go faster, the severity of the accidents typically increase. And so you always want to stay under that speed limit. You always want to be operating your vehicle at a safe speed. Another couple things that are bad because of speed is you get tickets, and that costs you as drivers money. It can cost us as a company money. It can reduce the number of loads that we get because brokers see our safety scores go up and they don't want to have us haul their loads. And that's bad for all of us. You can, when our safety scores go up because of speed tickets, that also increases the number of times we get pulled into ports for inspections. And that's just wasted time and a headache for all of us, and something that we want to avoid as much as possible. The better the safety scores, the less you're going to get inspected. Higher speeds is also bad on equipment. And so, it just increases the wear and tear on all of our equipment. And, that reduces breakdowns when we drive at good speeds. It increases our fuel efficiency. Speeding and excessive speeds are just pretty much bad all around. So maintain that good speed limit, and it'll do us all a good favor in the long run. So a few things that I do when I'm driving, again, I've kind of already mentioned this already, anticipate. You want to know what's going on up ahead of you. Construction zones you're going to have to slow down for, towns, hills, all those kind of things. When you change from a freeway to a highway, or from a highway to a city street, those changes in roads all typically mean a change in the speed limit. Anticipate those, start slowing down early. As we all know, big trucks don't slow down on a dime. It takes time. When I'm driving in bad weather or bad road conditions, you obviously also want to manage your speed, and that oftentimes means driving at lower than the speed limit. Another thing that I try to do when I'm driving in a heavily congested area is to drive a little bit slower than most of the traffic around me. And one of the big reasons I do that is because, as we talked, I think it was last month, the topic of safety or space management, driving a little bit slower than traffic and heavy congestion really helps me manage that space management. Even if somebody comes in and cuts me off, they're driving a little bit faster than I am. That means that gap and that the safe following distance increases more quickly because that person's traveling faster than I am. So Let me know some of the tricks that you use when you're driving to help manage your speed. I'd love to hear them. And then also, I kind of want to give you a heads up. I'm going to do something, I'm going to start something next month. Again, just to kind of help make us all aware of how we're doing with safety, is I'm going to start providing all drivers a safety report that shows kind of what their safety score is based off the metrics from the ELD system. And it's not meant to tattle on anybody. It's just meant to make us all aware of kind of how we're doing. And so I'll probably send out another video a little bit earlier in the month of August and talk a little bit about what that is right around the same time that I start sending out those reports. And I'll send those reports out monthly. Appreciate everything you guys do. You keep the company going, and can't thank you enough for all your hard work and staying safe.